I get asked about cinnamon constantly. Patients in their 60s come in with articles they've read online. Cinnamon cures diabetes, cinnamon reverses Alzheimer's, cinnamon melts belly fat. Most of those headlines are nonsense. But hidden underneath the nonsense is actually some real science that's worth knowing about. Cinnamon is one of the few common kitchen ingredients with legitimate research behind it. Used for over 4,000 years in traditional medicine, recently studied in real clinical trials, and available for under $3 at any grocery store. The benefits are real, but they're modest. And most people are using the wrong type, in the wrong amount, getting nothing out of it. Today, I'm going to walk you through what cinnamon can actually do for your blood pressure, your brain, and your sleep, and what it definitely can't. I'm Dr. Gray. Let's get into it. 3 of the biggest health concerns for adults past 50 are blood pressure that won't come down, memory that's slipping, and sleep that doesn't feel restorative. People spend thousands of dollars a year on prescriptions, supplements, and gadgets trying to address these 3 things. Meanwhile, a teaspoon of something you may already own or could buy for the price of a coffee has been shown in real studies to help with all 3. Not dramatically, not overnight, but as a small daily edge that your body can actually use. The catch is that 90% of the cinnamon sold in American grocery stores is the wrong kind, and most people are taking the wrong amount at the wrong time of day to get any benefit at all. Let me walk you through how to do this correctly. Step 1. Use the right kind of cinnamon. 2 main types of cinnamon are sold in the stores. They look almost identical. They taste similar. But for daily use, one of them is a problem. The common type, cassia cinnamon, is what fills nearly every spice rack in North America. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and it works fine for occasional baking. The issue is that cassia contains relatively high levels of a compound called coumarin. In small amounts, coumarin is harmless. But if you take a daily dose of cassia for months, that coumarin builds up in your system and can damage your liver, kind of like rust slowly accumulating inside an engine. For occasional sprinkling, it's nothing. For daily medicinal use, it's the wrong choice. Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon, has almost no coumarin. It's grown mainly in Sri Lanka, has a lighter color, a more delicate flavor, and a softer texture. It costs slightly more, but for daily use, it's the only cinnamon I'd recommend. Look at the label. If the jar just says cinnamon, it's almost certainly cassia. If it says Ceylon cinnamon or cinnamomum verum, that's the one you want. Step 2. Use the right amount. This is where most people go wrong in the opposite direction. They hear cinnamon is healthy and start dumping tablespoons of it into their food, expecting dramatic results. More is not better with cinnamon. The research consistently shows that the benefits show up at modest doses and don't increase much beyond them. The sweet spot is between half a teaspoon and 1 full teaspoon per day. That's roughly 1 to 3 grams. Beyond that, you're not getting more benefit, just more of the spice in your stomach where it can cause irritation in some people. Stir half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon into your morning coffee. That's the whole protocol. Cheap, simple, and based on real research. I want to give you the straight story on this one, because the internet exaggerates it badly. Multiple studies have looked at cinnamon's effect on blood pressure. The ones that show benefit found a modest reduction, somewhere around 5 points off the top number, systolic, and 3 points off the bottom number, diastolic, in people with elevated readings. Other higher quality reviews have been more cautious, saying the evidence is real, but the studies are small and inconsistent. So the takeaway is probably helpful, definitely not dramatic. 5 points may not sound like much, but for someone sitting at 135/88, dropping to 130/85 moves them out of a higher risk category. Across a whole population, even a 5-point reduction in blood pressure prevents thousands of strokes and heart attacks every year. The leading theory is that compounds in cinnamon help relax the muscles in your blood vessel walls, allowing them to widen slightly. Picture a garden hose that loosens up just enough to let water flow more easily. That's roughly what's happening in your arteries. This is not a replacement for blood pressure medication. If you're on medication, stay on it. But adding cinnamon to your daily routine could give you a few extra points of margin that your medication and lifestyle changes are working toward. The brain research on cinnamon is younger but interesting. The active compound that gives cinnamon its smell and flavor is called cinnamaldehyde. Lab studies have shown it can reduce the buildup of a protein called tau inside brain cells. Tau is one of the proteins that, when it accumulates, gums up the connections between neurons. Picture a clogged drain slowly backing up, and it's one of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease, alongside another protein called beta amyloid. A 2024 review covering 40 studies found that cinnamon consistently improved memory and learning performance. Most of those were animal studies, with only a small number done in humans, so we can't say cinnamon prevents dementia. What we can say is that the early evidence points in the right direction, and the mechanism makes biological sense. Cinnamon also has anti-inflammatory effects, and chronic inflammation in the brain is increasingly understood as a major driver of cognitive decline. Think of inflammation like background static interfering with a radio signal. Turning down the static lets the signal come through more clearly. For now, treat it this way. Cinnamon won't reverse memory loss that's already happening, but adding it to your morning coffee alongside everything else you're doing for your brain is a low-cost piece of a larger puzzle. This is the claim with the weakest direct evidence, so let me give you the truth. Cinnamon doesn't make you sleepy. It's not chamomile. It's not melatonin. But it works through an indirect path that matters for older adults specifically. Cinnamon helps your body manage blood sugar more smoothly. When blood sugar swings hard during the night, spiking after a heavy dinner, then crashing in the early morning hours, it triggers a stress hormone release that can yank you out of sleep at 3 a.m. with your heart racing. We covered exactly that mechanism in the 3 a.m. wake-up video. By smoothing out those blood sugar swings, especially overnight, daily cinnamon may reduce those middle-of-the-night crashes. The effect is indirect, but real. Patients who add cinnamon to their morning routine and clean up their evening eating often report fewer nighttime wake-ups within a few weeks. So cinnamon doesn't put you to sleep. It just removes one of the things pulling you out of it. Here's the protocol in plain steps. Buy Ceylon cinnamon. Read the label. If it doesn't say Ceylon or Cinnamomum verum, put it back. Add half a teaspoon to your morning coffee. Stir well. Cinnamon doesn't fully dissolve, but the active compounds extract into the liquid. If the texture bothers you, sprinkle it on oatmeal, yogurt, or fruit instead. Be consistent. The studies showing benefits all involve daily use over weeks or months, not occasional sprinkling. The effects build gradually. If you're on blood thinners, blood pressure medication, or diabetes medication, talk to your doctor before starting. Cinnamon can interact with these in ways worth checking, usually mild, but worth a 5-minute conversation. I'm not going to tell you cinnamon will change your life. The internet has plenty of voices doing that already, and most of them are selling you something. What I will tell you is that cinnamon is one of the few kitchen ingredients with real, peer-reviewed research showing modest benefits for blood pressure, brain health, and overnight blood sugar stability. The benefits are small. They're consistent. They cost almost nothing, and they stack on top of everything else you're already doing for your health. You won't feel a difference tomorrow. You probably won't feel a difference next week, but over months and years, small daily inputs are what actually shift your health. And a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon in your coffee is one of the simplest ones you can add.